According to the Gallup State of the Global Workplace, only 15% of employees are engaged in the workplace. Why is it so? Is it even important to have your employees engaged in the workplace? Find out the answers to all of these questions and more on today's episode of the CEED Chat. I am Adekemi Adefisayo, and you are welcome to the CEED Chat. Joining us on the show today is no stranger to the CEED Chat. In fact, I want to personally thank you because every time we have you come on, we have subscribers just really saying this has been helpful, insightful, and I'm sure it's really been helping their business growth. So, ladies and gentlemen, make welcome Mr. Ajibola Bamidele.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing better and good.
Fair enough.
Most.
And I know you had the managers that manage.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. It was a great program. And for everyone that missed it, I feel you should make sure you get the videos. Go to YouTube and watch the videos and also try to make the next one. We're having the Highland edition.
Oh, wow.
So I guess we should just be there.
So the replays are available for free?
What?
The replays are available for free?
Oh, they're just an extract. You can't get the full replay, just a cutaway so that you can just learn. If we make it available for free, that's the job.
That's a lot, right? Always say, how generous are you?
I don't want to wait for the replay. I said, no, guy, I'm not going to pay to learn. So that's why it can be all.
So on the show today, we're talking about a very interesting topic, and I love it every time we talk about teams. Because I think from one of your earlier episodes, you made it so clear that teams and people who are in a business are so important as to how well a business grows, as to how well they perform, and also how the customers also experience the business at large. So today we're talking about team engagement. Why is this important in the first place to organizations?
Okay, so team engagement. When you read the word engagement, team commitment, team... having to be able to take discretionary efforts, you're not telling them to do things and they are willing to do it. Of course, it's very important because your business will grow. Without strong team engagement, then your business cannot grow. And you have a high level of attrition, instability in business. You cannot even predict because without the people, you cannot predict business success. So we look at, you have 5 committed people, then you made maybe 5 billion. If you have 10 committed people, you make 10 billion. So it's about commitment. I don't want people just to be around you and they're just interested, but they're not committed. Because that's what kills so many companies. You have a head count of like 1,000 and you only have maybe 100 or 50 engaged.
Very interesting.
And that's the interesting part. Like everybody's working for money and not working to make sure they see that business grow. And if that does not get to that level, you're not going anywhere.
I think I love the way you explained it because it breaks it down to say engagement is not just participation.
No.
It's not just showing up. It's being committed to the assignment, the task given to you, and to the company at large.
And take it personal. Just imagine when we're in school and you're given your final year project. Even though you don't know how to do it, but you just know that you need to do it to be successful. So you were really engaged.
Yeah.
And that's what engagement is about.
So I like how you've simplified that, question for us and why it's important to have your team engaged.
Yes.
My next question would be, how can a manager ensure that his or her team, is properly engaged? How do they engage their employees?
So, most times what we desire, engagement is seen in behavior. You can only see it when people behave in a way that they've seen that job, they've taken ownership, they're committed. They're no longer working because they're being paid. So, because it's possible people are being paid well and they're not engaged.
There's still no ownership mentality to what they do.
Because payment, I'm happy. That's why at some point when we talk about difference between employee satisfaction and engagement, it's like, employee might be okay with the pay, needs more pay, you're giving everything, but it's not committed to make sure. And also, there's so many motivational theories around these issues that say there's some, they say McClellan or who said some employees have need for achievement. Some employees have need for friendship, affiliation. Some have need for power. So when you have in your team employees that have need for achievement, naturally, they do well in everything they do. Not because they are excited, not because they are satisfied.
But because it's their inner drive. It's what it has to be.
So imagine you now get those people together, and those are the people you hired. People that have this knack for achievements. They will definitely be engaged. But that doesn't mean they'll be happy. That doesn't mean they're satisfied.
Or even committed.
No, the engagement is commitment.
Okay.
So if you're putting all in what you do, you see it through, you go the extra mile, you look at it, how can this be better? I don't like this. You just don't want to get to say, let me just submit, let me move on, Joe. Let me just decide you should do it, let me just do it. You're not engaged. That doesn't mean. So employee satisfaction and engagement is totally different. But however, how do we engage? Number one, make sure that people we are bringing in are people that feel they can do the job. Because if I know I cannot do the job, I can't be committed. Number two, make sure that those people have the behavioral traits, the kind of traits to survive in your culture. Just like when you want to hire and you're in a church, your mission is to now hire every Muslim. Or you are a Muslim, you're in a mosque, you now hire all Christians.
There's already a clash.
There's a clash in culture, way of life. And there cannot be engagement. So, but if you get those things right, people can do the job and all, then you move into, okay, so the leader now. Now, some people can do the job, you need them, but how do you engage transgenerationally? Like across different generations? Because the way you're going to engage baby boomer, with different generation,
millennials, or Gen Z.
So the way you engage them will be different. So have you also learned as a leader how to engage different generations? Because if you don't know it, you two have a competency gap on how to drive engagement in that kind of circle. That's another issue. So with all these things in place, and we normally pay, good environment, good days, get together, time to bond together, fun, and of course, all those things put together would definitely always drive employee engagement.
Interesting. I really love that particular, point you made mention of. You can't really treat everyone the same way because people are different. They were raised in different generations, different cultures, different practices. And when you have everyone come together as a manager, it's important that you learn how to manage specific people in a way that they're still productive to the team. And so my next thoughts, which, I would like you to also help shed some light on, would be, how can one measure? Are there, aside commitment, which you've already highlighted, are there other metrics that we can say, okay, using this and using that, yes, this person is truly engaged in the team? Okay,
so the obvious thing we would do is to conduct survey.
Well, the surveys work. People could lie.
I'm saying so we can. I don't believe in those surveys, but anyway, they conduct survey. But don't forget that survey also works.
Okay,
it depends on the culture. You see, there's some culture whereby people don't speak up. We have power distance, call it power distance culture. Power distance culture means that when if you don't say it, low power distance culture believes that you can speak up.
Sure.
So if you look at America, people speak up. They can even call them, mom beats me, come and arrest her. so they speak up normally. So in that kind of culture, survey can work. Because there are laws that you cannot victimize, there's no, what do you call it, I've forgotten this now, but you cannot, any employee now that has reported or something, there's protection for those employees already. So employer cannot just say...
They're not scared of risking losing their jobs.
No. Yeah. So people speak up. So it works in culture. So application of these things is also cultural. However, the easiest way to check out whether they're engaged or not is to check your employees' discretionary efforts. Did you have to encourage them to do what they have to do? Or they do it anyhow? Or what exactly is, or the business, are you achieving goals? Because if you're not achieving goals, you should know they're not engaged.
That's a problem, yeah.
So, but if they're achieving goals, and you know that you don't have to tell them a lot, they want to go the extra mile, they want to, sometimes they even recommend that, can I do this from home? I want to do this, I want to make sure it works. And I say, oh my God, that's engagement. And those are things you look out for. And when that happens, then you start looking at your metrics on turnover rates, retention rates, and start saying that, wow, if they really engage, they will stay also, they stay longer. So when you see attrition, it's engagement. People are not committed to their work anymore. So everybody is just looking for how to move and move to another place and go and work. And that's basically what leads to all this. That's how you can measure them.
How often then should an organization measure, engagement? Is it monthly? Is it quarterly? Or is it, you could just go at random?
I don't know why people still believe that. Number one, if things are not, I don't believe there's a timeline to do anything.
Okay.
So
why?
when people say annual measurement, because the goals a company is trying to achieve in this world differs now per month. So you want people to engage this month. You don't want to, because you need monthly engagement, you need weekly engagement.
Daily engagement.
You need daily engagement.
Yeah.
So you cannot wait. What if you're measuring after 3 months? Do you know what you've lost?
The damage.
So you must constantly check the pH of your system, the climate of environment every time, so that it won't have gone deep before you start fixing what you should fix.
I really am enjoying this, conversation, because I'm also getting enlightened, and that's the beauty of it. As you watch, you take note, you can relate to personal stories, and you see where you're also missing out, and say, I need to really, adjust here.
But the challenge of most companies is this. You see, when there's a leadership hierarchy, and you have people, the next line managers to the management team, let's say your management team, they're not even engaged. It cascades down.
True.
So most times, you see disengagement at a very lower level.
You already went to my
next question. There's disengagement at a higher level. So most times this engagement is trickles down from the top down. So it begins. So when we see employee engagement at a lower level, we start tracing it. From where is it from? Is it the manager? Is it the manager's manager? Is it the management team? Because the people that management team relates with are few people. Then those few people relate with some people. So if you don't want enterprise engagement, you need to start looking at it from the top down.
So in other words, employee disengagement most times happen when there is no engagement, in fact, from the leaders, because it flows from the top down.
Yeah, because number one, leaders provide exemplary leadership. People should follow. So that's one thing. Disengagement does not only come from the leaders.
So what else could?
It comes from you have recruited wrongly. Because if you get the wrong people, you profile the wrong people, then it's going to also disengage people. Number two is you also let me chip this in. If the manager's competency cannot manage different generations too, I mentioned it earlier on, it can lead to disengagement, generational disengagement. So some generations will be disengaged because that manager lacks the competence to engage.
Bring everyone
so it's from we bring in the kind of manager that manage them, the kind of environment you should make the convenient, but the convenience is not convenient. So they will not want to come to work. Let me do something from home. That environment that I cannot use the convenience when I need to go to the group. These are issues also. So the state will create for our team, the kind of people we're bringing in across the board.
I know we're really almost, spent on time, but I would like you to quickly talk about the difference between, because you made mention of it earlier, employee satisfaction and employee engagement, so someone just gets it.
Okay, so one, satisfaction is you have good pay, good managerial relationship, you have good environment, state-of-the-art environment of work, and that's basically what we call satisfaction. But when you're engaged, it means that you're committed. You see that business as yours. You go the extra mile. You can be paid well and still not go the extra mile. I've seen people that are being paid well saying, they didn't say I should do this now.
No, like I carry it on my head.
Yeah, they're not going the extra mile. And these are issues around that also engagement.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ajibala, for coming on the show. And of course, it's been a very enlightening one. My biggest takeaway today would be the fact that you can be satisfied, or your employee can be satisfied and still not be engaged. But hardly would they be engaged without actually being satisfied. So that is something you really should watch out for. And of course, it takes a lot as well on your path as a manager, because it's exemplary. What you show is what they follow. So show them the right way to go, and also learn to manage different people, and you see productivity skyrocket in your company. Follow us on all our social media platforms, and of course, till we meet next time, do make the most of this resource. Take care.
Bye.
CEED Academy, your growth partner.